different things that are going on at Walt Disney World and the Disney parks across the world, and also talk about subjects that relate directly to plus size issues and concerns. One of the things I'm noticing right here on my camera is that it's a little bit off. I'm just going to adjust that a little bit. So one of the things that I've been wanting to talk to everybody about that's kind of been weighing on my mind for a while is the words that we use to talk about ourselves. I know normally the topics of concern here have to deal with Disney issues for plus size people, but this is something that affects plus size people, not just at Disney, but in daily life. And I think it's a subject that's really worth talking about, and I want it to be more of a conversation with you guys. I don't want it to be just me telling you what I think or how I think you should talk about yourself or how I think you should feel about yourself, but more of a conversation of what you guys, how you guys talk about yourselves. How do you describe yourselves? In what tone do you talk about yourselves? And what do you think about the way it affects the way others perceive you or the way the people around you feel about themselves? And maybe has a deeper impact and deeper implications throughout different facets of your life and your success that you have in life in general. Thank you, Christine. You're awesome. Thank you so much for that super chat. That is amazing. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. That's crazy. It says 50. Is it 50? That's amazing. Thank you so much, Christine. I really, really, really appreciate that. Anytime anybody has a super chat that they contribute funds to Pammie Plus Parks, all of that money goes right into the channel, and it helps me be able to purchase annual passes as well as transportation and food and so forth when I'm visiting the parks to cover different park events. Let's take a second really quick to say hello to all the folks who have joined us live this evening. And if you are not joining us live, if you're watching later, you can be a part of this conversation by leaving your comments in that comment section down below, and I will get back to you. Hello, Heather and Brenda, and hello, Deborah. Hello, my schnook. Main Street Moments, hello, how are you? Hello, Kathleen and MK. MK's been thinking about my post all morning. Yes, because I did do a little Facebook sort of teaser in the Facebook group. Christine, thank you so much. You're awesome. Thank you for the super chat. You're amazing. I don't want to cry at the beginning of this, but I'm so grateful. Thank you. Hello from Pennsylvania is what Lauren says. And Michelle's made it. Hello, Michelle. It has been a long day, Christine. I'll tell you what, it has. And hello, Jenna. I'm so excited to have all of you. Oh, thank you, Main Street Moments. Thank you so much. You're amazing. Thank you. I really appreciate those super chats. It really helps me to be able to continue to give you high quality, top-notch coverage of all the parks from a plus-size person's perspective. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right, well, let's get started. And I would like you guys to tell me in the chat, what are some of the words that you use to describe yourself? Like if you were asked to describe what you look like, how do you describe the shape of your body? What are the words that you guys use that you feel comfortable using and you don't mind other people using to describe you or that you use to describe yourself? Let's see. People fluffy. Main Street Moment says that they don't use good words to describe themselves. Okay, that's not good. But thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle, for that super chat. I really appreciate that. Oh, that's unbelievable. Thank you very much. You guys are incredible. Let's see, what else does anybody else have any special voluptuous? Christine uses voluptuous to describe herself. That's fantastic. I love that word. Plus size. That's another great term. Thank you, Kathy. That's, I think, a nice neutral one. And Main Street Moment says they're their own worst critic. I say, Karen, you use the word frumpy. Lauren uses curvy. Okay. So like if someone were to say, meet you somewhere, or maybe an Uber is picking you up and you have to use a word to describe yourself. These are the words that you would choose to describe what your physical look is. Curvaceous. Becky says curvaceous. That's a great one too. I'm wondering, are there any guys out there? What terms do you use to describe yourself? If there's any guys out there, tell us what you use for words to describe yourself. Fun size. That's awesome. A lot of people think of fun size as the little Snickers that you get at Halloween, but yes, this is fun size. And Heather uses plus size also. Well, let me share with you the word that I use to describe myself. Fat. I'm fat. I use the word fat to describe myself. Earlier today, after I had announced that this is the topic I would be talking about tonight, I read a post in another plus size Facebook group where someone talked about the 3-letter F word that their child started to use, meaning the word fat, to describe themselves. Not the child. The child was using to describe mom, the word fat. And like, how do you get the child to stop using the word fat? I get that you don't want your little one to go around calling people fat because they won't understand what they mean, but I think it's okay for me to describe myself as fat. In my opinion, the word fat is the same as saying tall, blonde, blue-eyed, fair-skinned, dark-skinned, short, slim, athletic, muscular. All of those words to me describe someone's physical shape and frame, and I'm fat. You know? I think it's the tone of voice that it's delivered in has a lot to do with how it's received. And I try to be really mindful of the word that I don't say, I'm fat. I say, I'm fat. Just like you would say, I'm tall, I'm short, I'm small, I'm big, I'm fat. It's just another descriptor. It's a simple, succinct, 3-letter word that's easy for people to say and pronounce, and I don't have a problem with it at all. What I don't like is when people use the word and they go, you're fat, or they say some kind of, it's the tone of voice that they say it to you in and what their intention is when they're using that word that makes it a bad word. And I don't think it's a negative word at all. Becky says, my husband calls me fun size because I'm a foot shorter than him. That's adorable. That is so cute. Let's see if an Uber is picking me up. I say I use a walker and AFO braces. Okay, so yeah, that's a good descriptor to say, so if you use a mobility device, they know who to look for. It might make it a little easier for them to find you. Happy Thursday, Alpha Traveler 1. Let's see. And Kristen says I'm fat, P-H-A-T. Pretty hot and all that, right? Honey and Bee says, we need to take the word back. It's just a descriptor. It should not be bad or dirty or a mean word that means someone is less than because of the descriptor. I agree with you, and that's how I feel about the word fat. When I have described myself as fat to other people, they have gotten upset with me and said, you are not fat. Fat is a thing. There's fat on your body, but you are not made of fat. I'm like, well, I don't know. A big percentage of me is made of fat. It's just what it is. But they don't, they have such a negative thoughts and feelings that are attached to that they don't want me to describe myself as such. And even like recently, a few weeks ago, I mentioned something about like, oh, I don't like to do such and such because that is sort of like, I'm getting old. I'm getting older and, I'm fat. That's just not like my fun. That's not fun for me anymore. When you reach a certain size and an age, that's not something you want to do anymore. I don't even remember what it was, but like horseback riding or something. And this person that I was talking to got really upset with me and said, you're not fat. You are not fat. And I was like, honey, can you see me? I am. But they didn't want me to describe myself as fat because in their mind, because I'm active and I do things and I have energy, I'm intelligent and creative and a contributing member of society, that somehow that means I'm not actually fat, because to them, a fat person is someone who sits at home on the sofa and does nothing all day. And someone like me is not fat. But I had to set them straight and say that, guess what? People who are fat have careers and they have families and they're civic leaders. And they're doctors, and they're lawyers, and they're scientists, and they're great intellects, and they're philosophers and artists, and they're amazing people, and they're fat. Just because you're fat doesn't mean you can't be lots of other things too. back. I agree, Honey and Bee. Everybody's agreeing with Honey and Bee, taking the word back. Let's see. Becky says, I've used words like happy, chubby girl to describe myself. That's great. Those are positive too. Brenda says, I like sitting at home and doing nothing all day. I would love to sit at home doing nothing all day. If only I could. But, I guess that's why you go on vacation, so you can do that every now and then. Yeah, just once in a while, it's okay to sit around and do nothing. I totally agree with you. Frankie says, breaking in here in Maine, I will try Nook. Oh, okay. All right. Try your Nook and see if you can watch us on that. That would be great. So yeah, I think it's important to really consider not just the words that you use to just the actual words that you use to describe yourself, but the tone of voice in which you describe yourself. If you're like, well, I'm chubby, I'm fluffy, I'm vertically challenged, whatever it is that you use along those lines to talk about yourself, if you say it with a positive tone of voice, it's generally going to be taken better. And I think that's important, to be positive with whatever words that you're using, and infuse them with like a positive energy to describe yourself, because I think it really has an impact on the people around you and how they perceive you, as well as how they perceive themselves. And I'll get to that in just a second. Becky says she's too high energy to sit around all day. I am the same way. I say I'd like to sit around, but I don't really. Becky says, my family nicknamed me Roomba because I'm all over the place. Man, your family's got great nicknames. I love it. That's so cute. Alpha Traveler 1 says, it's a shame how much people in this world still use labels in a negative way. And you know what? They use it on everybody. Christine says, I know this is the topic, but I need a hug. I heard yesterday they are shutting down Illuminations. Yes. Illuminations is going to go away at the end of summer 2019. So about a year from now, Illuminations is going to disappear. And they're going to replace it with something else. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm kind of excited to see what it will be. I'm sad to see Illuminations go, but I'm always excited to see what the next thing is that Disney's going to come up with, because they're always coming up with one better thing after the next. Alpha Travel 1 brought up an interesting sort of subject in saying that it's terrible how people use labels in a negative way, or use descriptors in a negative way to hurt people. And it's true, that does happen to fat people. And I call us fat people because I don't have a problem with that word. I hope that you guys don't either, and don't get mad at me for using it, because I don't think it's negative. It's just what it is. It's just like being tall or short or anything like that. But it happens to people, not just fat people, but it happens to thin people. I have had friends who are very, very thin, where they've had people say, oh, you're so skinny. Ugh, you're so skinny. You're like skin and bone. And then I've watched them go off and hide somewhere and cry because someone called them bony, or like a twig or something like that. And as a woman, you want to be curvaceous and voluptuous and, sexy and curvy. And you don't want to hear someone call you a twig and a stick. Those are just as hurtful. You think you're complimenting someone when you're calling them skinny or skin and bones or bony. You're really hurting those people's feelings. But society's perception has been that, like, oh, to be that thin is really great. And so you can call people names based on that, and it's A-okay. Well, guess what? It's not. Calling somebody a name like that is not okay. And we should be more careful about that. Just as we don't want people running around and saying, oh, you're so fat. Look at how fat you are. You certainly don't want to do the same thing to someone who is slim. It's not right. Brenda says she has to go make dinner and feed the beasties. Well, maybe you can join us a little later. If not, you can tune in to the end of this later. Brenda, have a good dinner and a wonderful evening with your family. Hi, Christina. It's good to see you here in the live chat. But yeah, guys, keep that in mind, that a lot of times the words that you use to describe someone who's slim and you're expressing your jealousy at their body size, if you are jealous of their body size, you can actually end up hurting someone's feelings that way too. But what I really wanted to talk about is perception and how people perceive you when you use certain words, and the tone of voice that you use when you describe yourself or you talk about yourself. And this comes up at work, and I hear women at work do this all the time, and sometimes men too, talk about their bodies very negatively and point out all their flaws and things that they think are wrong with themselves. And just whine and whine. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, this is wrong, this is too big, this is too fat, this is too this is too that. And then I've watched also when that person walks away, how people then say after them, oh, that guy's so negative. He's always complaining about what he looks like all the time. Or, oh, if I have to listen to her complain about what she looks like when she's so pretty one more time, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm sick of hearing it. So even no matter what your size is or your shape, people hear what you say and how you describe yourself. And if you're negative about yourself, it starts to carry over and they start feeling negative about you. We already know in this world that people have a tendency to think that those who are fat, overweight, fluffy, whose size, whatever you want to use to describe yourself, people who are larger are people who are not as smart, that they lack self-control, that they're undisciplined, that they're not as hardworking, and all these complete fallacies, these things that are untrue 100%. We're fighting that perception out there. And then when we get out there and we add to it by saying, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm frumpy, I'm horrible. Even if you feel that way inside, maybe you leave that at home or for talking with your best friends or something, but when you're at work and you're saying things like that in front of people, do you think when they hear you complain about yourself and your body and your appearance, and there's already a built-in negative assumptions about someone of size, do you think they're going to look at you then and go, that sounds like a really creative go-getter. I really want that person on my team for the next big project. That person's going places. No, they're not going to think that about you at all. Think about the places that you are, where you're at, and who's around you when you're talking negatively about yourself. Kind of think about that and take into consideration that if you're being negative about yourself in a place where you're trying to make some money at work, it might not be the best thing for your wallet and your paycheck. Try to be, kind to yourself. You're saying things about yourselves. I know, I've done it before too. Thank you so much, Christina. Thank you very much for that super chat. Love you and your videos. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Christina. I most certainly will. And your super chat will help me do that. Thank you. I think it's really important for us to take that into consideration, because part of our success in life is based a lot of times for many of us, I know for myself, on our financial situation and how well we're doing at work. And the people I've noticed who do the best in business situations are the ones who are very positive, very energetic, very creative, and they never say anything bad about themselves. There's enough people out there in the world willing to say bad things about yourself, about you. Don't be the one to get in line and say negative stuff about yourself. Let's see. Let's take a look at what some folks are saying here. William says, my wife says she's big-boned, lovable woman, and I'm a short Latin man, and she's my better half. The lady is always the better half. Although, William, I'm sure you're wonderful. I'm sure your wife is your better half, because ladies, we work hard. Alpha Traveler 1 says, problem is 6 companies with powerful people run all the media around the world. If these old, bald, rich men wanted to put a stop to that, it would be quite easy. You know what? I don't want to pass the buck on how people perceive me as a fat person. I'm not going to pass that buck. I hear what you're saying. I do get what you mean. A lot of what we get for misconceptions about fat people come from advertisements and magazines and films and stuff like that. But I'm not going to pass the buck on that. I'm going to take the responsibility myself and start with me. And like I said, there's enough people out there willing to make movies and TV shows and jokes and songs and parodies and make fun of me. There's enough of that out there. So I'm not going to contribute to that. And I'm going to start working harder to be a little more positive about myself in public. and not be so self-deprecating. Maybe not quite so much. Maybe with you guys, because we're kindred spirits, and we all kind of, we have a little safe place with each other to talk to one another about how we're feeling and the things that we're thinking. But out there in the world, maybe I'll be a little bit more particular about how I speak about myself. Christine says, I have coworkers like that. They are obsessed with the superficial being, not who they are inside. Yeah, if you're standing around talking about what you look like all day long, and all your coworkers are standing around talking about what they look like, and you're talking about creativity and maximizing your work potential, and you're talking about things that are creative and positive and contribute to the company, and that's what you're spending your time talking about, people will notice that. And they're really like, those three over there are always talking about their hair. Those two over there are always talking about the size of their butt. But this one over here, they're constantly talking about what they can do better in the company and how they can do a better job. And people will notice that. It will just, maybe it won't be like super obvious to them at first, but they'll pick up on it. Let's see. Shelley says, I try to be so careful about what I say. I don't want my kids to hear only negative. I always try to say healthy instead of skinny or smaller. You know what, Shelley, you have brought up an amazing point. What you say in front of your children is something they absorb and they just sort of put back out there in the world. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Michelle. She says, I just realized my super chat wasn't the right amount, still new to this. You know what, it doesn't matter. I'm happy to have any contributions whatsoever, and that is amazing. Thank you so much, I really appreciate that. You're very generous. And Shelley, I do want to harp on that a little bit. When I read the comment earlier today in a different Facebook group where someone was talking about how their 3-year-old used the 3-letter F word, fat, to describe herself, her child was calling her fat, and she didn't want her child to use that word. The child was saying it in an innocent way, not like, Mommy, you're fat, but Mommy, you're fat, but children pick up on the words that you use, and that kid didn't mean anything bad or malicious or nasty or mean by calling their mom fat. It's just a word that they learned, and guess where they learned it? Probably from Mommy calling herself fat. So what you say about yourself in front of your children, they're going to pick up on it. And the same thing goes with your partner. This is for ladies, this is for men, this is for anyone. If you are in front of your partner, putting your body down, Honeybee, thank you. Love your channel and your positivity. Thanks for all your hard work, Pam. You are welcome, Honeybee. Thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate it. But yeah, think about what you're saying in front of your partner. Don't be I do it all the time, and Mark gets on me. Mark gets on me big time about how I talk about myself, and I'm like, this is like that, or this is, I wish this would, and he's like, I love that. This is what I love. This is the person I married. I love all of it, every part of it. Remember that. You want someone to think well of you. That's your partner in life, and speak well of yourself in front of that person, and continue to make the best impression you can in front of that person that you love. Yeah, it's okay to have a day, a time, a moment where you're like, oh, give me a hug, I feel ugly today. We all have that, right? But, try to be a little thoughtful about that person. If you think about it this way, your partner loves you more than anybody else in the world, and you are putting yourself down. In other words, you're putting down the most important person in the world in front of them. If you make fun of yourself or rag on yourself or dog on yourself in front of your children, they love you more than any person in the world. And you're criticizing and making fun of the person they love more than anybody else in the world. Why would you do that to your partner and your children? I mean, we do this all the time. I've done it. We have to definitely stop doing that. Start thinking of things in that sort of point of view. Frankie says, having a teenage granddaughter helped her from an early age, and working with littles taught me we need young girls do not need to hear us worrying about size and shape. That's right. Women and anybody people of all different kinds of people. We all have our challenges, whether it's our race, our sexuality, our spirituality, physical differences, whatever they may be. We all face our challenges, and to spend time teaching young people to criticize their bodies when there's so many more bigger challenges, more important challenges that they have to face in their life, it's really a waste of their time, of their energy. It's not a great way to really invest in kids. So Frankie, you brought up a really good point there, and I appreciate that. Let's see. Kelsey says, I'm late to the game, but hi Pammie from good old Indiana. Hello, Kelsey from Indiana. Awesome to have you here. I like the things that everybody's been sharing. It's been really amazing. You guys have had a lot of really good points that you've made. Main Street Moment says, I always put myself down. My husband never does. Well, think about that. Your husband is listening to you make fun of or pick on or put down the most important person in his life. I don't think he really wants to hear that. He doesn't want somebody to put down the most important person in his life, even if it is that same person. Think about that. Consider it. It's food for thought. I'm not telling you how to live your life, but think about it. Christine says, speak life, speak positivity. There's enough negativity going on in the world. Confidence is super sexy. And that is true. Even if you aren't feeling sexy, you can try to do whatever it is that makes you feel like you are, whether it's a fragrance or a particular piece of clothing or just some music. Music for me helps a lot. Or a movie or something that kind of like boosts your confidence to get yourself going there. Fake it till you make it. Sometimes I have to do that myself. Frankie says, for 54 years, my hubby has loved me quite literally through thick and thin. That's amazing. That's true love. That's real love right there, Frankie. That's a beautiful thing. MK says, I think sometimes we automatically put ourselves down without realizing it. It's something we need to try and be mindful of. I will tell you this, something I've noticed in working in the entertainment industry, and I have worked around some of the most spectacularly beautiful people in the world. And I listen to them point out all of their flaws, and they have flaws. Everyone has flaws. They have stretch marks. They have scars. They have wrinkles. They have sags. They got everything you have. They've got it too. They just don't have better photographers and lighting. But they point out all these things that are wrong with themselves because they feel like it's their way of being humble, like as if to say, you can't say, when somebody says, oh, your hair is so pretty to me, I'm like, oh yeah, like I spent $1 on the shampoo. Like, what? Who cares that you spend $1 on your shampoo? Your hair's pretty. Just say thank you. Like, you're blessed. Say thank you. And we don't do that. We feel like we have to put ourselves down to show that we're humble. And you can still be humble by very humbly saying thank you when someone compliments you. Just say thank you. I'm terrible at this. I have a friend who takes me to task on this all the time. And whenever she compliments me, and it took her years to get me to accept a compliment. And she would just say, receive it, receive it, receive it, receive the compliment, receive the love. When someone's complimenting you, they're trying to show you love. And if you don't accept that compliment graciously and humbly and say thank you, it's just like you're rejecting their love. You're rejecting their attempt to try to connect with you. And that's not cool. You got to accept that compliment and say, when someone says, oh, your hair's pretty, or I love your glasses, or that's a cute top, you got to say, oh, thank you very much. Oh, thanks. Whatever they may say to you about yourself, take that compliment and take it graciously. And when you take it graciously, it does show your humility. It really does. More so than you realize. Michelle says, I am blessed to have an amazing husband who makes me feel beautiful. He has taught me to love me. I didn't used to be so really good partner to have in your life. Helps you see the best parts of yourself and brings out the best in you and helps you see how lovable you truly are. Cutie with Freckles says, my boyfriend never puts me down either. He hates that I can't take a compliment. Well, remember, Cutie, that when he's paying you a compliment, he's showing you love. If you aren't familiar with it, I would check out the 5 Love Languages. It's a book Oh, it's like everywhere. But Google it. There's a test that you can take online to find out what your love languages are. And if your boyfriend's constantly giving you compliments, his love language is probably words of affirmation, which means he likes to hear people say nice things to him. So what he does when he shows love is he'll say nice things to you. And that's the way he expresses his love towards you. And if you don't receive it back and humbly and accept it graciously, it will hurt him. It probably actually really hurts him that you don't take his compliments. So even if you don't feel super beautiful or fantastic or whatever compliment he's paying you, just accept it graciously and humbly and just let it settle over you. And maybe eventually it'll start to really absorb and really start to fill you up and boost you up and make you realize that you are all those things that he compliments you for. Brenda says, we are self-deprecating in everything we do and say, are, etc. I'm a crafter and often point out the flaws in things I make after someone tells me how beautiful it is. Just say thank you, Brenda. You're absolutely right. Just say thank you. Because someone is taking their time out of their life to say something nice to you, accept it. Cindy says, my name is Cindy from Philadelphia. I found your amazing videos this week after booking a trip to Disney. Keep on sharing your positivity and knowledge with the world. Thank you, Cindy, and I want you to do the same. I'm so glad that you popped in to join us with in this chat, and I'm really excited about this dialogue that we are all having with each other and sharing. I think it's amazing. It's definitely helpful. It's a tough world out there, and we're all the worst critics that we have sometimes are ourselves. And I think sometimes I find it easier to criticize myself and put myself down before someone else has a chance to do it. And we really don't need to do that. Alpha Traveler 1 says, live a beautiful life, love the world around you, and live and love by example, and the world will give you back that twofold. And Christine says, honestly, Pammie, this channel has helped boost my confidence. This community is amazing, and it is an amazing community. If you aren't a part of Pammie Plus Parks on Facebook, I do urge you to go check out our Facebook group because it is filled with some of the most incredible people I've ever met in my life. And, oh, Main Street Moment says, you do have nice hair. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I love that this channel that I started kind of on accident through a suggestion from my husband. I love that it's kind of grown beyond anything I could have ever expected and has allowed me, I wanted to help people to be more relaxed and to enjoy their vacation and to just know that there are things that they can do, that they can try rides with their family and friends and make lifelong memories that they could carry with them forever. That's what I wanted. And it's gone beyond anything I could ever hope for, and I'm so happy for it. I'm just kind of following where I'm being guided and doing whatever I can to kind of lay a path where people of all different kinds of people, all different ages and backgrounds and everything can come together and kind of help lift each other up in a world that can be kind of tough sometimes. Let's see. Cutie says, I have seen other plus-size women as beautiful, but I can't see that about myself. Well, you know what I think is funny? When I go back and look at old pictures of myself, or it used to be this way, I would go back and look at a time 15 years ago when I was thinner, and I would go, wow, I was so beautiful then. How come I hated myself so much? Now look at me, I'm terrible. And then another like 10 years would pass, and then I would look back on that picture from that period and go, wow, I was so beautiful then. Like I never appreciated myself in the moment. I always appreciated myself in the past. And I think the thing that helped me the most with seeing myself in pictures and stuff like that was doing this channel and like having to look at myself constantly in videos while I'm editing the video. I have to watch myself for hour upon hour upon hour. And it was very awkward and very uncomfortable for me having to look at pictures of myself and edit pictures of myself. And I hated I hated looking at myself. I have very few mirrors in my house. I never really looked at myself before. And now I was put into a position where I was looking at myself for hours and hours. And the more I looked at myself, and the more I looked at other people in the world around me, I realized I'm really not that terrible. I wasn't as ugly as I thought I was. I've got a couple good qualities. And I started to appreciate more about myself in different aspects of what I look like. And I felt more comfortable going without makeup or, you know, wearing a plain t-shirt or something and sneakers. And I just started to feel more comfortable with myself the more I looked at myself. And I kind of recommend that to anyone, believe it or not. If you hate having your pictures taken and you're worried about going to Disney and that you have Memory Maker or something like that, and you don't want to have those pictures taken, start taking lots of pictures and video of yourself now. Have your friends and family take tons and tons and tons of pictures of yourself and just keep looking at them over and over again. And in the process, you'll learn which angles you look best at. You'll learn where you look most comfortable, and you'll even figure out which clothes you like best, that kind of thing. And you'll just start feeling more comfortable with yourself. Let's see. Becky says, I have a hard time with compliments for years. My husband finally drove that point home. I'm glad he helped you with that. Let's see. Jen says, Pammie, I'm a hairdresser and your hair is pretty. Thank you so much. You're wonderful. I appreciate it. I do like my hair, I have to say. I know I want to be humble about it, but you know, that is one of my good points. I do think I have pretty good hair, and I like the way that it's turning gray and how it's lighter here in the front and darker in the back. I think that looks kind of neat. I've seen it on other people before in the past. I thought it was great. And then when I realized my hair was going like that, I thought, oh, that looks kind of cool. Becky says, oh my goodness, you just answered my question about my husband's true love language. He's constantly giving me compliments every single day. Wow. Yeah, if you guys haven't taken that quiz, just go into Google and type in five love languages and take that. It is so amazing. It will reveal so much to you about your partner, and it'll reveal a lot about yourself and how you see yourself and the way that you receive love, and it'll help you give love to your partner in a way that will work well for them. And I think they even have tests for kids, so you can do that with your children and find out how your children receive love, and it just really enhances relationships so much when you know how best to communicate with other people. Frankie said, I have just joined and love the group People and Tips about Walt Disney World. I'm so glad, Frankie. We always have lots of great things to share. Every time I think I know everything there is to know about a ride, somebody always tells me something new, and I love it. And we actually do have a number of cast members that are members of the Pammie Plus Parks Facebook group, and they always give me little tips and go, oh, don't forget to look for this, or, oh, you can also do that, and I love that they contribute in that way. Jen says, I always get in the pictures even though I don't like it because I want my daughter to have pictures of me. Yeah, your kids are going to definitely want those pictures. Here's the thing. Be bold when you have your pictures taken, and be happy and expressive, physically expressive, with big smiles, and just like be present when you're in those photos, and don't hide yourself and try to like make yourself tiny and put people around you, because that shows in the photo. That tension really shows. But if you just shake it loose and just relax and have fun, your pictures will come out a lot better. Brenda says, oh my heck, but I take the pictures no matter how you feel about it. Your people already love you and will always want more pictures of you. Do not be missing from the pictures. That is really, really true. Namaste. Ankit. All right, well, I hope you get some good sleep. Frankie says, picture issues getting easier. Grandchildren love to see older pictures. They will love any pictures when I'm gone. This is absolutely true. Good night, Christine. Christine says, good night, everyone. I have to run. Pammie, you're amazing. God bless for all you do. God bless you too, Christine. And have a great night of sleep. Let's take a look. How long have we been chatting? We have been chatting for about 40 minutes. So we'll be wrapping it up in the next 10 minutes or so. If anybody has anything else you want to add about ways that we talk about ourselves, the words that we use to describe ourselves, and like the impact it has on family and friends, and on how people perceive you, and even on how people perceive themselves too. Brenda says, you are right. I feel Frankie Miller, you are right. I feel every time I was at my grandma's house when I was a kid, I went through all the old pictures. I even did it at Mom's house recently when I found a box of them. Yes, people love looking through family photos. Paula says, do you wear compression socks in the parks? I have swelling around my ankles. Do you think compression socks will help when you're walking all day in the parks? I wear compression socks almost every single day. I love them. And you can wear them every day. Talk to your doctor though. Don't use YouTube as a source of medical information. Speak with your doctor. That's what I did. My doctor recommended like a medium to strong type of compression sock. The ones I get are called MediPeds. I got them for $10 for 2 pair from Walmart. But there's all different kinds. Your doctor may take a look at your legs and may even prescribe socks for you of a particular type, and you can get them covered by your insurance. It just depends on what your situation is. And sometimes they do ankle wrapping. Sometimes there's medication that you can take and special massage, all kinds of different things that can be done to help relieve swelling. For me, I just need to wear the compression socks and elevate my feet, and I'm just fine. But I do love them. I feel like they give my legs a lot of energy, and because my legs have energy, my whole body feels energized. I feel like I can get a lot more done that way. So, yeah, I definitely recommend them. But talk to your doctor and see what they have to say. It's always best to talk to a real healthcare professional, not me. Frankie said, our daughter started getting gray early, the way you are. Her daddy called it skunk stripe. I know, right? I still like it, even if it is a skunk stripe. Let's take a look. Brenda says, oh, I found some cutish ones, meaning compression socks. I haven't worn them yet, so I don't want to give a review and say if they're any good. Yeah, I need to start getting some fun, cute colors too, and recommending those as well. Let's see. Cutie says, I was going to get the annual pass without the memory maker when I move up there, but I think I'm going to suck it up and go gold. I love having the memory maker. Now, Mark and I get pictures together almost every single time we go. It's nice because if you're walking by and you see a short line for a character, you just pop in there and get your picture taken with them. There's all kinds of photographers wandering around all the time, and you can always grab somebody and get some cute, fun pictures anytime. I love it. It's fantastic to have. At the end of the year, we have hundreds and hundreds of pictures, and we choose our favorite ones and keep those and share those. And I don't know, I just think it's neat and it's fun to have them. You never, ever, ever will regret having wonderful pictures from Disney. Frankie, you wear the fun compression socks. I want to get some fun ones too. I haven't done that yet. I need to get some cute colors that will go with different outfits. I think that would be great. Yes, I am once again using my poison apple cup to drink out of. Kelsey says, I just want to thank you so much for you and your videos. I'm lucky to have a man who loves me for me, but your videos help boost my confidence and help me embrace being poo size. Much love. Well, much love to you, Kelsey, as well. I'm really glad that this group is here for us to share, our experiences, our thoughts, our feelings, our wisdom that we've gained through the years, and to kind of really just work towards helping boost each other up, because at the end of the day, we are all hardworking, caring, wonderful human beings, and we deserve the best that we can get from life, and we deserve to be able to get out there and live the fullest life that we possibly can, and to put out of our minds any negativity that we have about ourselves and anything we may imagine other people are thinking about us, and just move forward and have, especially when we're at Disney, have a wonderful, magical time. Shelley says, I've always hated Memory Maker, but I see now that let me try that again. I've always hated Memory Maker, but I see now that there are trips. It doesn't even look like I was there. Time to smile for the camera. Shelley, you have to get in there. Because here's the thing that a lot of people don't know about the photographers. The photographers, when you approach as an individual or groups, are supposed to take about 6 photos of you. They're supposed to take 2 medium shots or 2 close shots, 2 medium shots, which are like hip high, and then 2 full length shots of you and your party. If you walk up and you're like, yes, I want a picture in front of the castle, they're going to take 6 shots of you. But if you walk up and you go, we're so excited to be here, I want to take a lot of pictures, and you pose and you do different things and you try different angles and you smile and you like ask them for ideas for posing, fun ideas. I've had situations where I've gone to have a picture taken, and you know, there's supposed to be this, I've watched everyone in front of me get the standard 6 pictures, but because I went up and I was excited and I'm like, I really want to get some great pictures. Do you have some great ideas? Do you have any special magic that you do? Any magic shots that you guys can take? The magic shots are like where they add an animated character or something like that into the picture after it's taken. But ask, you know, what can I do to make this special, this picture really, really special? Or, you know, like I'll say, my husband and I are celebrating our anniversary, or I'm here celebrating my birthday, and they always have some little extra special pose or thing that they can suggest to you. And I've walked away, like I said, I've watched people in front of me and they got the standard 6 photos, and I go up with a good attitude and a smile and a song in my heart, and I walk away with like 20 photos. So, you know, it's all in how you present yourself too. So definitely get in there. And here's the thing, and of those 20 photos, I might only really like 5 of them. But if I went up and I had 6 photos taken, I might like 1 of them. But if you have 20 taken, you're gonna like 5. I mean, your chances are better the more pictures you have taken. David's from Scotland. Hello from Scotland. Oh my gosh, it's like the middle of the night for you. Shouldn't you be sleeping, David? But thank you for joining us. MK says, thanks for creating a safe place for us to be ourselves here. You are welcome, MK. Frankie says, my dear husband says, thanks to you. He worries about my diminishing mobility. I told him what you said about getting on Pirates. He was so excited to hear it. You know what? It's amazing, Frankie, how much Disney will do to help people who have mobility issues. And there are rides where you might not realize that they have extra stuff. Like, I knew that there was a boat for Jungle Cruise that was for wheelchairs and ECVs, but I had no idea that they had another boat with different steps that were easier to get down for people who could still walk down steps and had some mobility. So ask, because you never know. And the other thing I found out too is different boat rides like Small World and Jungle Cruise and the Grand Fiesta tour in the Mexico Pavilion, those have ramps that you can walk on. They're meant to be rolled on with a wheelchair or an ECV, but if you are really uncomfortable with stepping down into a boat, they will let you use those boats instead. You just have to say, I'm so sorry. You don't have to apologize. You can say, I have some mobility issues and I am not comfortable stepping down into a boat. May I use the wheelchair accessible boat? I don't need a wheelchair, but I'd like to be able to walk down the ramp. And they will let you do it. You just have to ask. That's all you have to do is ask. So there's so much that they're able to do to help you if you ask. But if you don't ask, they don't know what you need. So always feel free to ask. My Schnook says, my husband just stopped to watch for a few minutes and said that you look very nice tonight. Thank you very nice. Thank you very much. I actually brushed my hair before this, believe it or not. I put on some lipstick and I brushed my hair. That's all I could manage. I was so busy this evening and I still managed to look good. Thank you. See, I was almost putting myself down there. I got to stop myself. Habits. I've got to break those. Bree says, I will definitely ask for the easier stepping on boat, Jungle Cruise. That step is hard for me to step up and out. Definitely ask for that. Don't hesitate. They're so super happy to help you with that. And Frankie says, we like to turn with our backs, so we are like as though we are walking down the street. Photographers love it, so we hold hands. How cute is that? It's a cute idea for a picture. Frankie, I'm stealing that idea. Bree says you look nice in purple. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, guys. This has been an amazing chat. We're kind of winding down here. We're in the last 10 minutes of the chat because it's been almost an hour. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. Um, Anybody else have any final thoughts that you want to share about like maybe something you do to kind of help boost your confidence level, or maybe a special way, a phrase or words that you use to describe yourself that are like very positive that people seem to receive very well? Anything along those lines that you want to share, any wisdom? In the next 10 minutes or so, this is the time to do it before we sign off. Paula says, the frozen boat is like that for me. The rides where you have to step in and down onto scare me. Well, Paula, I don't know if you saw my Frozen video, but they have like an extra set of padded steps that they are able to put into the side of any boat. And you can sit down on the top step, which is on the edge of the boat, and you can use the handles on the sides of the step to put one leg at a time into the boat and then gently lower yourself down, your bottom down onto each step. Rather than walking down, you're kind of like lowering your bottom down a couple of steps till you get to the seat. And that way you don't actually have to step down and walk down. You just sit on the edge of the boat, put one leg in the boat at a time, and slowly lower yourself down. So that is an alternate way to get on the boat. I had no idea they had this. Somebody just happened to see me vlogging, a cast member, and he wanted to know if he could help me further, and I told him what I was trying to get accomplished, and he's like, oh, guess what? We have this. Let me show you. So go check out my Frozen Ever After video because it's got those steps. You can see them in there. You can see how they're used. I hope that you'll take advantage of that, Paul, the next time you go to Epcot. Frankie says, this has been great. Thank you. Bree says, thank you again for all you do. You are so appreciated. Thank you, Bree. I do it because I appreciate you guys, and I'm so excited about you going on vacation. And, you know, I actually have a video coming up shortly where Mark and I go to Japanese gardens on the other coast of Florida. So I'm going to also be offering along the way extras of like different places we travel throughout Florida to show you how I do that as a plus size person, and also give you accessibility information for other attractions throughout Florida. Things you might want to visit if you live here, or things that you might want to visit in addition to or on your off days from the parks. I'm excited to have people get out there and try new things and see what's out there in the world. And maybe even, yes, Murakami, that's it, Mainstream Moments. Yes, Murakami, that's the gardens that we went to. But I definitely want to inspire you guys to start not just exploring Disney when you're there, but explore where you live and go and try things where you live and find cool stuff to do and share that with us and show us how you navigate that as a plus size person or someone who has mobility concerns, and let us know how you manage to do that, because it's not impossible. There's so much that we can do and so much that we can enjoy in life. It's amazing. Shelly says, it was like chatting with good friends, and it is. I feel like I'm chatting with good friends right now, that's for sure. Sheila, you're welcome. Thank you for your time, Sheila. I appreciate it when you guys come and join us on these. Canadian Flag is asking, says, hi, I am Muslim. What do you think about Islam? That is not the subject of our chat tonight, but thank you for asking and chiming in. Maybe some other time we'll talk about spirituality, but that's not the subject of the chat this evening. But I do hope you have a great evening, because I'll be signing off in just a few moments. Main Street Moment says, when will you be at Disney next? Well, my next scheduled visit is for October 16th. Mark and I are going to be going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, our very first ever party, special event ever that we've ever done at Disney, and we're so excited about it. And it was something that one of the viewers of Pammie Plus Parks very generously got us tickets to the event so that we could vlog the event for you and share that with you. So that will be coming up at the end of October. I'll be sharing a video about that. That's our next scheduled visit. Mark and I are talking about, if the weather holds out, depending on what's going on with weather, possibly going over and checking out Food and Wine either Saturday or Sunday. So we might be at Epcot over the course of the weekend, but we might change our minds. It's just, I don't like to tell you for sure we're going, because sometimes something else comes up and we don't always go, so I don't want to have people out there looking for me if I'm not actually there. But if you happen to be at Epcot this weekend, keep your eye open. You never know, you might see me, you might see Mark. If you do, don't forget to come up and say hello to us. And if you want, I will record you saying enjoy the ride, so I can tag that on the end of a video coming up in the future, so you can be a part of the videos. I'm really excited to do that for you. That would be so much fun. It was a great chat, Michelle. Thank you, and hugs to you as well. Let's see. Christina says you will love the Halloween party. I am beside myself with excitement. I can't even tell you. I'm like a child. I'm so excited. Brenda says starting to look like we are being invaded a bit by weird posts. I don't know. I mean, it's okay for people to ask questions even if they're off topic. I just let them know what the topic's about and kind of keep things going forward. But the subject of this chat had to do with Canadian flag. It had to do with the words that we use to describe ourselves and how those words affect us and affect those we love and our coworkers, people around us. Main Street Moment says, can't wait for the vlogs. I can't wait to make them for you. Jenna says, are you going to wear a costume for the party? I don't know yet. I have a couple of ideas. I have a couple of things that I can make from the items in my closet. So I could do a costume just based on like sort of Disney bounding items that are in my closet, or I could just do sort of a fun Halloween-ish look. I don't know. I'm trying to keep it budget friendly because all the money that you guys are sending me, I want to take that and use that towards my annual passes and towards doing things in the parks to show you. So we're hoping to kind of get enough money together so that we can like maybe get a couple of the treats to enjoy and like taste a few of the treats and share that with you and vlog about that. So if I have to make a choice between spending $50 on a costume and $50 on stuff that I can show you, I would rather show you things than have a costume. That's kind of my way of thinking. Maleficent with the hair. I actually kind of have a villains t-shirt, and one of the viewers of Pammie Plus Parks sent me some amazing a floral crown with Maleficent horns made of wire. That is, if you haven't seen them already, they're so fantastic. I might wear those. That's one of my ideas. Bree says spend the money on treats. I know, I'd rather do stuff than have stuff, especially if it's a costume that's going to be gone soon. Hey David, we're actually winding up here. Sorry. Maybe you could come back and watch the beginning of it after we finish posting. A couple of you did say that you liked my top. I did get this top from Torrid, and after this chat is over, I will put a link in the description, and you can use that link to go look at other tops that are at Torrid. I don't believe this particular top is available right now. But if you use that link to get to Torrid and you purchase anything after you've used that link, a very small percentage of your purchase price will go towards Pammie Plus Parks. What about Dia? Oh, Dia, I've loved my Dia box. I've loved the clothes. I've gotten so many compliments. I do actually want to share with you before I go off. If you're asking about Dia, I will tell you. I found out that I could be receiving a box of their activewear to show you, and I think it may actually be free to me. But they're gonna send me that. I think they're talking about maybe sending me a box of their activewear, because their activewear line is a new thing, and I know a lot of you wear activewear to the parks, and I don't really have very much myself, and I need some leggings and stuff like that. So I'm gonna see what they send me, if they send me a box of activewear, and kind of try that out for you and see what you guys think. I don't know. I mean, I think that would be really exciting to try. Ursula is another great idea for a character. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I have the right clothes to do that or whatever, but I'll definitely think about it. Thank you, William, for joining us. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Yes, Brenda, I really hope they do send me the box. That would be amazing. I can't wait to share that with you. Activewear, yeah, I know, Paula. Wouldn't that be great? I mean, the stuff I have that's activewear is no joke. 10, 15 years old. It has had it. It's time for me to get some new activewear and to try out wearing activewear to the parks. That's not something I've ever done, but I think it would be very comfortable, and I need to take that into consideration because so many people are wearing it, and it is fashionable, and they do have so many fashionable looks from Dia, so I don't know. I'm excited to see what they send me and see if it's stuff that I feel comfortable wearing into the parks. And I don't know. I want to share that with you guys. So hopefully we'll get something soon from them, and I'll be able to do another vlog for you about the activewear, which I think will be a little bit more skewed to our audience, to the folks that are watching the Pammie Plus Parks channel, because activewear is what you wear to the park. You don't wear business clothes to the park, so I think you guys might appreciate and enjoy that a little better. B. Weber, thank you so much. Love all your content and your outlook. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are amazing. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate your contribution. Canadian flag says your personality is so great. I really respect you so much, like you respect others. Thank you, Canadian flag. I think that's awesome. I think it's important for us to be kind to one another in everything that we do, in all of our interactions. Paula says, I would love to I would love to wear activewear. I don't know. I've not worn it in public before. I only wear it to the gym, so it's going to be very different for me. Lisa says hello from Grand Prairie, Texas. Oh, Lisa, thank you for joining us. I am actually just winding down. We are just finishing off the chat right now, but I hope that you'll come back after this is posted and watch it, because we had an amazing conversation with each other where we shared a lot of our thoughts and feelings about the words that we use to describe ourselves and how it affects us and our family and friends, coworkers, how people perceive us and how they feel about themselves and how they feel about us. It was really powerful conversation. I feel it was really beneficial too. And I'm so glad that we had that tonight. And thank you all so much for joining and taking time out of your lives to spend time to talk and exchange information and ideas and thoughts and feelings and wisdom. You guys are amazing. I really love talking to you and spending this time with you every week. But it's time to say goodnight to you so that you can get back to your family, get back to your friends, get back to being with the people that you love in your life. And I want you guys to remember something. What I like to say at the end of every one of the videos: life is a roller coaster. Enjoy the ride. Good night, everyone.